Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's only me again, and thanks for tuning in for another round of metal detecting. So today is a glorious spring day in May 2023, and I have been given the most wonderful opportunity to do some metal detecting right next door to a deserted medieval village. The village was in existence in and around the 1200s, and a historic archaeological survey found that there was about 17 houses here. So it would have been a really busy little place all those years ago. Now, the site itself is actually a scheduled ancient monument. And what that means is that the site is protected to preserve all of the archaeological features that are below the ground for future generations to come. I have no problem with that at all. However, I am allowed in the field next door, and that's where we are today. So guys, hopefully we are going to get some really good stuff today. So stay tuned if you want to see what I find. And that leads me to say thank you very much for watching my videos. Of course, if you want to get notified as to when the new video comes up, hit subscribe. And guys, if you want to support what I do, drop us a thumbs up as well. I just want to say a huge thank you to John Coleman, who recently bought me a cup of coffee. Really appreciate that, John. Thank you very much. But remember, it's not expected. However, every single donation is very warmly welcome. But guys, that's the talking over. Let's get some digging done, and I'll see you all on the first hole. So I've got my very first target of the day down here, not too far from the bag, so I haven't had to walk very far, which is great. It's quite a strange sounding little target, but it is ringing up at about 81 to 82, so definitely going to give this one a dig, and let's see what we've got. So it's quite near to the top. Here we go. Yeah, so I'm still really not sure what this one is, guys, for the very first target, but looks like a piece of copper alloy metal which has no distinguishable shape. I don't think it's got anything on there, so it's a mystery object. Absolutely no idea on the first one. Could just be a piece of scrap. So, oh well, it's the first one. I'm sure there's going to be plenty more to come, so let's keep going. Okay, so I'm on my second target now, and honestly I have probably walked about 20 paces from my bag, and seems to be targets absolutely everywhere, which is fantastic news. This is coming in at 85, 84, 85. It's clean, it's sweet, it's exactly the type of target that we want. So really excited to dig this one out. Let's see what it is. So once again, this target has come out in the plug, which is great news because it means that we're finding nice sounding targets that aren't very deep. And that's likely because this field was once ploughed, or it's been ploughed for quite some time. And it's been set into pasture now. But here we go, we've just found something here. And what is this? So it appears to be made of copper alloy again, because it's very, very green. But it had this kind of coin shape here. But on the back, you can see that it has this kind of nodule. Now, it could be a cufflink, but I've not seen one like this before. And if it's not a cufflink, I don't really know what this could be. There is nothing on the flat side, so there's no detail on there whatsoever. And yeah, there's not much detail on it anywhere else as well. So this looks like it'll be one for you guys to help me out in IDing. So if anybody recognizes this or has any ideas as to what they think it might be, please leave a comment below, because I do read all the comments, and sometimes you can ID stuff that just blows my mind. So there we are, guys. Try and help me out with that one, but that's the second target. Let's push on. So I've entered a part of this field which, in all honesty, is really, really noisy. Now, there are iron signals everywhere. I would expect that because I have, come across a few pieces of coke lying on the top. However, there does seem to be a lot more iron than what I was expecting to be. But also there's been quite a lot of lead signals as well. I've dug 2 so far, and they've just been really old, random molten pieces of lead. Iron and lead are really good signs of occupation. Now, that does make sense. We're right next door to a medieval village, so of course there's going to be all sorts of things in the ground, but it's great for us metal detectorists because you've got to push through them. In and amongst all those sort of dirty signals, there's going to be an absolutely golden signal. I absolutely guarantee it. However, we have just had a target down here. Now, this was deep. I mean, I have to say this is easily in the sort of 10 inches range for sure, but it was such a good signal. And I dug it out, just cleaning it up now. I thought at first this was going to be a button. Now, it's a very similar shape to a kind of Victorian penny, that type of thing, but I don't think it is. However, whatever it is completely ruined. So we're going to have to give this one a little clean and just see if we can get anything more from it. So we've given this one a bit of a squirt of water, and unfortunately my worst fears have come true. I think that it is genuinely just an old penny, possibly one of the early Georges, maybe even a William or something like that. But as you can see, there is nothing identifiable on it at all. Incredibly thin though, but it's got to be an old coin, that one for sure. Well, let's see if we can push on and find something a little bit older. But yep, there's that one. Okay, so this target came in at around sort of 81. And I dug the plug and I thought it was in the plug, so I was scratching around, and then all of a sudden I saw that it had dropped out actually in the hole that I dug, and I think we've gone and found our first silver coin of the day. What type of silver coin is this? Let's have a look. But it's definitely a silver coin. But is it a modern one or is it an old one? Let's clean it up. How exciting. Okay, so I'm just cleaning it up now, just seeing if there's anything identifiable on this one. And can you see that there? That is a portrait, and I think this is going to be a portrait of either a George or possibly a William. Oh wow, look at that. It's a really early milled silver threepence. Now this should have a date on it somewhere. Here we go. I can just see it at the top here. It says 1690. That either says 1690 or 1696. which would make this a William III, I think. Oh wow. Do you know, it's been so long since I found one of these really early milled silver coins, but this one actually looks like it's in really good condition. What a great day. I mean, we've really only been here for about half an hour so far, so I wasn't expecting to find sort of Civil War, post-Civil War era coins in here. Maybe some early sort of medieval hammered coins, but I will take this any day of the week. What a fantastic little coin we've just found. Keep watching, guys. Hopefully we're going to get some more good stuff today. What a wonderful, wonderful permission. So I've just had a really interesting little lead thing. I really didn't think this was anything noteworthy at first, but I gave it a clean and I could see this really intricate little pattern that looks like it's been sort of stamped inside of it. But it's quite an interesting little find. Now, I have no idea what this was once used for, but it certainly looks like it was part of some type of moulding. And the inscription, or the motif that's stamped inside of it, kind of looks a little bit like a crown, or it looks like it's got a crown on the inside and possibly some letters either side of it, with some letters underneath of it as well. But it's definitely made of lead. It's pretty heavy. But what was it used for? Your guess is as good as mine. I literally have no idea, but it's a pretty cool little find. I'm quite happy with that. But this, again, might be one for you wise lot watching the video. Have you ever found anything like this? What do you think it could be? Because I have no idea. But it's pretty cool. Hopefully we get a few more interesting bits like this. Really solid little kind of 72, 73, is jumping around a little bit. So it's a potential, this could actually be like a piece of aluminium or something like that, but let's give this one a go. So the wind is really shot up today. It was quite nice when I got here, but it's progressively got windier during the day. So hopefully it dies off a little bit later, but we're not expecting any rain. So that's the main thing. Don't fancy getting wet. Quite happy for a bit of wind to blow around, but yeah, rain, not for me. Let's see if we can find out what we've got here. Yep, here we go. It's just a piece of lead. Oh, do you know, there is so many pieces of lead in this field. But as I say, it is a good sign. You have to dig them, of course, because they do come up as nice targets. And it might mean the next one is a good one. So you've just got to keep pushing on. So it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon now. The wind has died down a little bit. The sun is still blaring. The birds are singing. What an awesome day. I've just had a really interesting target down here. This rang through, honestly, must have been 83. It was such a lovely, lovely signal. And I wasn't getting a lot in this field, if I'm honest with you. But what I think I've found here is a buckle. However, it's a super, super interesting little buckle, that's for sure. So you can see that it's got these kind of circles going all the way around the outside. And I think at some stage there would have been a little pin going through the middle part here as well. Yeah, I couldn't really tell you how old this buckle was. I've not really seen another one like it. It's quite interesting because of these little circles that go all the way around the outside. But it's very, very decorative, and it's very possibly like a dress buckle or something like that. But I really couldn't tell you how old this was. I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards maybe sort of Victorian or something. But it very well could be earlier. It could be Tudor. It could be something like that. So I'll have to try and find another example of a buckle like this, but it's really interesting, especially for me, because I've never ever found one exactly the same as this. So it's a first for me, and maybe it is really, really old. Who knows? But yeah, I'm really happy with that. It's so, so intricate, so delicate. I would love to know how old this was. Really, really nice kind of 87, 86 here, surrounded by a little bit of iron, but it's certainly quite an isolated target. So we're definitely going to give this one a go and see how we get on. Okay, so it's come out in the plug. Oh wait, what's this? Oh wow. So this isn't anything super duper old, guys, but I've just found a 1 penny dated to 1938. So this is a World War II penny. And it is in immaculate condition. It's so nice. I mean, it actually looks like it's kind of been dropped very recently. You can see the detail of Britannia there, absolutely crystal clear. And of course, you've got George V on the back. It's a young George V here. Really, really nice coin. Yeah. Quite like that. That's actually quite a nice find. I mean, we're not finding anything tremendously old or associated with the medieval settlement just yet, but we haven't been here too long, so we've got an awful lot to go. But as a 1 penny for now, let's see what else we can get. So I was literally only just saying how we weren't finding anything in this field that was associated with the medieval settlement. And yeah, I think I've got something. At first, I honestly thought this was another kind of Georgian-esque coin. After we found that 1 penny that was in really good condition, I saw a sort of glimmer of green sticking out on here, and I thought, oh, it's just a, you know, a ship halfpenny or something like that. But I have given it a clean, and I really do not want to rub this any more than I have. And I have seen some absolutely wonderful decoration on here. It definitely looks medieval, but what is it? At first, I thought maybe it could be a hammered coin because it's got this kind of cross in the section here. Most certainly looks like a sort of medieval inscription around the outside, but if you turn it over, it's got these 3 kind of circles, and inside of the circles are the fleur-de-lis. So I would suggest, bearing in mind that this is quite a green copper alloy, that this is a medieval French jetton, which is super interesting. I have never found a French jetton which looks like this. It's a stunning little find, and absolutely dates to the time that this settlement was here. This has to be 1300s for sure. I mean, I'm not entirely clued up with jettons because I don't find very many of them, but they're really interesting finds. And essentially all a jetton was like a gaming piece. So instead of using real coinage for games and things like that, people would make these jetton style coins to almost resemble coins of that particular era, and then people would actually play the games with those. So they were gambling not necessarily with real money, but they were gambling with forged or fake money known as jettons. And this one is an absolute stunner. So I'll put a picture of it on the video for you guys so that you can see. But yeah, that is an absolutely wonderful little coin. That's made my day, and we've still got a lot of the day left to go. So this is quite an interesting little find. Now, when I dug this out, I thought this was a musket ball, because of course it was round and it was about the same size as a musket ball, but cleaned it off a little bit and it's too light to be a musket ball. So I think I know what this might actually be, and what it actually is even more interesting than a musket ball. So it's obviously round, and as you can see there's one part of it here which has got almost like a small inlet. Now what I think this is the very bottom piece to a dagger. So you've got to imagine you're holding the dagger handle like this, and then you've got the handle in the grip, and then right at the bottom of the dagger you've got this little ball just right on the bottom. Now when the dagger's upside down and it's in its sheath, you can obviously use this as an aid to pull the dagger out quite quickly, but they believe that these were also used to weight the blade of the dagger as well. So they had many uses, but potentially, if it is what I think it is, it could be 1700s, 1600s, maybe even a little bit earlier. They are quite difficult to date because not many daggers have survived with these bottom bits on. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I have found one before, although it wasn't as substantial as this one. So that's what makes me think that it is one. But yeah, there's that one, guys. Absolutely cool little part of a dagger handle. Awesome. So it's been a little while since I've actually had a target. Now, I wouldn't say this field is crammed full of targets. It's certainly crammed full of iron targets because they are everywhere. And despite the sort of changes that I've made to the detector, they have caught me out a few times, I'm not going to lie. However, I have been detecting on this slope here, just seeing what was here. It's a south-facing slope, so you know, chances are that this was obviously once sort of cultivated. And I had a signal down here, pulled it out, and it's lead. But it's not your average piece of lead. It looks like quite an interesting piece of lead. So from first inspections, and I haven't cleaned it up yet, it genuinely does look like a Pilgrim's badge. It's quite a small Pilgrim's badge, and you can see the 2 rivets on the back there where it once would have fastened to something. But it's made out of lead. It obviously has some type of motif. It has a dotted outer ring, Unfortunately, it's a little bit broken. It's not wholly intact, but I would say it's about 95% intact. Now, I'm going to give this one a little clean, and I think we should take a look together, because potentially this is going to be a lovely little lead Pilgrim's badge. So I've given it a squirt of water, a light sort of rub with the toothbrush. I don't want to obviously go into too much detail with it because it's lead and it's already deteriorated quite a lot. But check that out, guys. Now, I am almost sure this is a Pilgrim's badge because I've seen very similar ones like it. Again, on the back, you've kind of got these two little pin fasteners. And if you look really carefully, what's really cool is that you can see the imprint of the material that it was once on. And the likelihood is this Pilgrim's badge probably dates to around the 1300s. So it's really interesting to see that kind of detail on it. I don't know what it's depicting. I can kind of see some type of guy there doing something, but yeah, your guess is as good as mine on that one. It's obviously quite obscured, isn't it? But what a wonderful thing to find in this field. I mean, we haven't found any hammered coins or anything yet, but we have had a lovely selection of just sort of little medieval artifacts, really. And this being one of them. This is most certainly the type of find you would expect to find around a deserted medieval village, for absolute sure. So there we are, guys, a little lead Pilgrim's badge, probably 1300s, but I'll do a bit of research when I get home. Nice. So it's about 4 o'clock now and I've decided to call it a day. What a fantastic day it's been today in this field. I'm pretty sure there's going to be way more stuff in this field yet to find, guys, so definitely stay tuned for that one. But I am super happy with what I've had today. I think the find of the day was possibly the silver coin, a nice William III 3p, pretty rare little coins for sure, and of course the lead Pilgrim's badge, really interesting find as well. But guys, that's pretty much it from me. Please consider subscribing below if you want to see more videos from myself. And of course, if you like the mission today and you want to support what I do, drop us a thumbs up as well. But that's it, guys. I will see you all on the very next video.